how'd you guys come about Burger Head?
I was leaving said restaurant where we all met. I think I was going to Bali for a month or so. Tim said, "What's up next?" I think, isn't that how it happened? And then,
Yeah, I said to him, so it was like quitting, we're having drinks, end of thing, like see you later drinks. And he was going to Bali for a while, and I said, "Oh, you seem like a smart guy. What's the next plan? I've got money saved up. I'm going to work for myself too." And he was like, "Let's have a beer." And yeah, one thing led to another.
I mean,
but the idea for burgers started in Sweden.
So yeah, back in Sweden, I guess I was in the fine dining, playing with my tweezers and chopping shit really, really small. And we kept going to this burger bar, and there was nothing like it in Sydney at the time, and it was just phenomenal. They were mincing their own meat, making their own buns, cutting their own chips, making their own ketchup, everything. Like what we wanted to 110% be, but the reality of like doing that is a $40 burger, you know?
Yeah.
So we tried to meet in the middle with what we became, but like the idea for that was flipping burgers over in Sweden, Stockholm.
Was the
did you ever work there?
No, I ate there weekly. I ate there weekly. I sent Tim there when he went on a Euro trip, but it was phenomenal, you know, like flavor was on point and just the technique and it showed me that you can take that fine dining experience and you can feed the masses at that same like level of dedication.
Apply it to a casual world.
So what would you call Burger Head's tagline then?
So like our business,
your motto, your tagline, like what's Burger Head about?
Burgers that taste good and do good. We lean heavily into the community side of things of where we operate. When we had the stores, that was a real big focus. We used to, you know, and we tried to explain it to our staff as it wasn't just giving crap away and making people happy. It was
building a connection.
Yeah, connection. And it was really something that was drilled in to, and even still in our marketing, in our communication to people, we want to make burgers that taste good and do good. And that you know stems from choosing the right products, having the right people behind us, looking after our team, and then looking after our suppliers and looking after our customers.
Yeah, I find that you guys have always been very product forward. There are a lot of people that are.
I think you have to be.
Yeah, there are a lot of businesses that aren't.
That they don't have a great
There's a
product,
lot of businesses that do like a 7 out of 10 product, but do very well. Yeah, 100%.
They do very well, exactly. But there's a lot of food businesses that do that. But you guys have always.
Can you name any that are like that 7 out of 10 that have been in business north of 10 years though?
There's plenty, bro.
Okay. My whole thing was
that aren't in a top location.
My whole thing was the fact that like if you don't put everything into the product, your marketing, your branding, yada yada, only carries you so far.
Okay, but we can digress and debate that. Okay, what I'm trying to say to you is what I'm trying to get at actually is giving you guys a fucking compliment. So stop fucking debating. Stop debating me. What I was trying to say here, guys, is that Burger Head have always been very, very product forward, and you guys have always tried to put in the best you could into your beef, call it, whether it be your spices, whether it be the actual meat that you use. You don't like taking corners. You guys like to produce as much. You give me this fucking smoke.
No,
like
I'm
you
listening.
Take Tim takes corners, guys. No, like I've seen the way that you guys operate, and there's a lot of things that you could do potentially that would like be a fucking shortcut, but you just don't take that.
100%.
It's it's not fun mincing at 2 a.m. some nights.
Sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't get relayed that hard.
Yeah, no. I mean, you definitely, when you got your truck and you're lined up against 10 others and you know they've just bought everything in and you've labored over making your sauce, making over your patties. What the fuck? We're at the end of the day, we're all going to get money in the tills.
Yeah.
But this is just who we are.
Yeah.
It's like we could buy patties. We could buy a pre-cooked patty where we could chuck it on the grill and just heat it up. But intrinsically, I'd feel like shit giving that to somebody.
You guys have been able to hold your values like to the core of the business, but as well as scale it.
Yeah, you've got to hold yourself to a high degree and have pride and be proud of what you do.
A lot of people have pride and they're proud, but your individual values of being like to be able to do it and to be able to scale it.
Yeah, no.
That's different. Pride and proud is part of that. What you guys need to get a like a tap on your shoulder, which I want to go into, is the fact that you guys have been able to diversify and scale while staying true to those core values of where you guys have learned, right? So you opened Burger Head in when? 2016?
It's a journey between 2016 to 2017.
January 2017 open.
January 2017. So in planning phase 2016, January 2017. How old were you at the time?
23?
I was 21 when we started to plan it, and then 22 and 24 when it opened.
Yeah, right.
22, 24. Wow. And how much cash did it take you both at the time?
40 each, maybe. And
40 each and some lot. But
and was Dickie in on that too?
No, it was just us two.
Just you two,
Some creative financing.
Yeah, okay.
lying to a bank.
At the 3 to 6 month mark when you guys were rolling, at what point did you start feeling the burn?
Week one.
Week one.
Look, we opened, and I think the target was to sell 70 burgers a day because we were in fine dining. We had only ever been used to serving 50 to 60 people. And so our numbers were sort of centered around that and providing ourselves with a decent wage. We never once thought that we were going to get past year one, let alone, I think at our peak, we had 70 staff. And so our mentality was, let's sell 300 odd burgers a week. And then day one, I think, was over 500. It was, yeah. So
what the fuck did you do then?
Cried. It was it was crazy. We were going home as the bins were getting emptied. Tim was crashing at mine, I think 3 nights a week.
No, I had to pick up the so every day when we first opened, I would wake up at 7, drive to Marrickville and pick up the bread because they wouldn't deliver to Penrith. It was too far away.
We didn't know anything about suppliers.
And then drive from Marrickville all the way out to Penrith. This is before the tunnel. So cop the Parramatta Road crush, everything like that. Get to the store hopefully at about 9. We'd all be there getting pretty much set up for the day, slicing the bread, buttering the bread, and then just everything in general. Cook to about 9 o'clock, and then pack down, clean up, and then restart up to prep. And we'd prep to probably 3-ish in the morning every night. Then I'd drive back home for an hour, sleep at 4 a.m., wake up at 7, do it all again. And that was almost every single day for about 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucked.
It was crazy. It's phenomenal. But
we never think about call 30 grams of sauce on a burger, and from the fine dining world of 70 burgers, that's 70 times 30. What's that? 2.1 kilos.
Yeah.
Now, but add another 2 zeros on that when you're making 7,000 burgers worth of sauce just to get you by.
Every day it was like, oh, this will be enough. Never and we didn't have systems. We didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
It was.
We didn't
You
have
had your mise en place,
Yeah,
your little fucking gastro pan.
I think we're gonna need.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna need 4 kilos of sauce today, and then you need 8.
Yeah.
And so you're making that. Then you're making mash at like 3 times a day because you've sold out. And
you just can't believe the amount of food we were going through, and then we didn't have tubs and things big enough to make that much.
we didn't know the machinery that we needed to make our life easier to and we didn't have the budget in the beginning to fork
to
that
even
out.
get there.
So we were using mandolins to like cut onions, and
So you went from obviously underestimating what you guys could do. You opened, went through a honeymoon phase, I'd say. And did you see the numbers starting to normalize, or what did it start going to like?
It just went like through the roof and then came down and then plateaued out.
Plateaued out to like what, a couple hundred burgers a day or something?
I'd say
28K a week.
28K in
5 odd
revenue?
days, yeah.
Okay.
This is like a few years, 5 to 6 years ago now though.
Yeah.
So, and we were well cheaper back then, but yeah, it was crazy.
And then at what point did you guys turn around and say, okay, I need to I need to grow this?
From day one, the three of us were like super ambitious at heart, and it was always going to be more, like grow.
There was 3 of us, and we were like, well, we're not going to retire sharing one restaurant. So we knew we wanted to open more. We didn't know that the answer to how many more, but we knew that was always the end goal.
Yep. And fast forward, say 4 or 5 years down, pre-COVID, I want to say 2019.
Mhm.
I like to reference this year a lot because I've seen a lot of businesses that were doing great in 2019. Was there like decisional, pivotal moments where they started taking that another step.
Yep.
Where were you at in 2019? Did you have any other stores?
I think we got the
We had the truck. We had the truck. So along the way, we'd opened up what was going to be a 1 month pop up in Beaumont Hills. I think that went to
I remember that one.
3 or 4 months.
I visited that one actually.
And we quickly learnt that opening 2 is not the same as opening 1.
Yep.
We learned a lot of mistakes along the way in that little endeavor. Then our next foray was into getting the truck, and then from there we were doing the truck, and then that's where we were probably in 2019, doing large scale events like the Easter show and like the local sort of markets, all those sort of things in different areas to build up the profile. And then then COVID hit.
And then COVID came, and then you guys diversified again. You pivoted into like burger boxes.
Yeah.
You pivoted into home deliveries and at-home cook-alongs.
Yep.
So, again, very product forward, trying to be, produce quality, give that back to the consumer, and provide them the experience at their door. But you guys didn't go through some aggregator. You guys did it yourselves. What was that experience like when you created those burger boxes?
It was good.
Yeah.
No, well, I think what happened was, so COVID was picking up steam. Everyone's talking about it. It's in the news. Like, what does it mean? What's this? And then the Easter show got cancelled, I think, a week before it was meant to kick off. And
we just bought like 20-30 grand of stock.
Yeah, we'd started to ramp up for it because you can't just do that overnight. And so the show got officially cancelled. And then it was a moment of like, oh, fuck, like this is real. What's going to happen? Like, blah, blah, blah. We'd already seen, I think, other cities had started to shut down. So I think the day it got cancelled, we were down in the dumps and kind of called it a day and went home. Then the next day it was sit down and it was like, all right, how are we going to beat this thing? And it was pretty much mapping out like, okay, first fear is just no sales at all. And if it gets to here, what are we going to do? What are we going to do here, etc. And it was just planning.
We sat in the local library all day.
Yeah, down at Penrith Library.
And we just sort of said, like, at this level, do we cull staff? Like, we did want to cull staff. We've always had the mentality of can't make money without people, right?
Yep.
Like, you can only do what you can only do so far. And so that was sort of the last resort. It's like, all right, well, how are we going to bring more money in? And what's going to happen? What's going to be this new reality for the next 3 months, 6 months?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at pretty much people's patterns. So people we thought would be scared and not want to leave the house. So then the fear was, okay, everyone's going to smash Uber Eats.
Right.
They take a massive chunk. How do we beat that? So we launched our own delivery first. So a lot of the front of house staff they picked up extra work pretty much because they became drivers. Then you couldn't leave your house unless you were getting food, and you had to stay within 5 kilometers. So no restaurants out in those fringe housing estates. Let's take the restaurant to them. So we dropped the truck in a random housing estate on the fringes, and we were doing like 300 burgers a night in someone's driveway pretty much.
Yep.
That kept the team working. And then we noticed other restaurants doing take-home kits and things like that. And we always say to ourselves, like, we want to do it bigger, better. So we did those kits and we launched them. And it was, like cook at homes. And then we thought, how do we make it better? And we noticed a place did a like video series. So they posted themselves cooking it, I think. And then you got the kit, you watch the video on how to do it. We said, we'll do it live. People can ask questions and we'll cook with them. And before the live, I said to Josh, like, why don't we'll have a drink just to get rid of the nerves a bit. And then
I took it too far.
And then while
I remember.
and then pretty much while
I was watching it, I was getting entertained.
While our videographer was setting it all up, we had a couple, and then I was like, man, what if we turn it into a drinking game? What if we just make it fun and like this entertaining thing?
Yeah.
And then it literally turned into this almost like weekly TV show, interactive thing. Like imagine watching MasterChef, but you're doing it with them almost. So we're playing drinking game. Like if you swore, you had to drink. If you said you had to drink. Burger, you had to drink. And for people in COVID, when you had absolutely fuck all to do,
it was
turned
entertaining.
into a lot of fun activity at home.
And we had a really, really engaged audience. Like
everyone was engaged. We were tuned in every week. I was waiting for each bloody burger box delivery. We were cooking along at home. Like it was good fun. It was great fun. And we did some stuff in COVID that you'd never do again, but it was just hilarious, you know?
Yeah.
But one critical thing you said, obviously, in the run-up to COVID was a thing called the Easter show. A lot of people I don't know if you know the Easter show, but it's the biggest show in Australia, isn't it?
Southern
Biggest
Hemisphere.
ticketed event in Southern
In the
Hemisphere.
Southern Hemisphere. And when did you guys actually get in?
Year one. We got invited. I think our third week being open,
Wow.
and they emailed or they called.
Yeah,
or-
they emailed. Their whole thing was they set up a new foodie hall, and they'd seen fine dining chef burgers and all that,
we were
and thought it would be a good addition. So yeah, they emailed them.
So you email, you got 3 weeks in, you get emailed, people that have been putting tenders in
for years.
for their lifetime and then never got in. And you guys 3 weeks in got invited
And we said no.
and you said no.
We said no.
Initially,
That was
I
our
don't think we
reality at
told
the
them
moment.
no. I think we said.
Oh no, we said no.
Oh, okay.
You responded
I remember
no?
saying, no, it was on the phone. I said, hey Shane, like, thank you for the invite, but
Yeah.
like we are getting pumped, and we didn't have the capacity. We were a small team at that point. We're doing extremely well, but we just honestly couldn't handle that at
So-
that time. And
so-
then we plateaued out. Like maybe call it another 5 weeks went by.
Yeah. And then did you call him back?
I called him back. I'm like, I
Hey,
know,
Shane. Hey,
I
Shane.
know we said no, but and then they said no, the offer's still on the table if you'd like it, and it
No.
was the best thing we've ever done.
I remember that actually. I remember you called me and you said, hey, I'm bootstrapped. I've opened my venue, as you know. Do you have
Oh,
any
we hired
equipment,
gear, yeah.
Yeah.
any equipment that you can actually just get to me? Anything that will help. And I remembered that we pulled together some sponsors
We did.
with no one even paid for it.
that
So,
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you want to know something else that was funny about that show in that period?
what?
We nearly bankrupted ourselves.
Really?
Yeah, I think we
A
had
week before the show. I think.
we didn't realize how much money we're gonna have to spend
Up
get
front.
up front to get into there. So we got the equipment for free, thankfully.
Yeah.
But we're getting all these number forecasts for ticket sales and whatever. So we start buying all this food, and we've never had to buy this much food before.
Yep.
And we
Up front on the commissions as well.
yeah, up front of that, yeah. So you drop 50 odd grand, call it, in like a lead up to the show in that 1 month before. And that is a lot of money for a new business. That's
Right.
a lot of money
For people that had to
now.
lie to a bank.
Yes.
And so we're just spending money because we're thinking we're kings at this moment. We got money rolling in.
Yeah.
We're just bam, bam, bam. Yeah, sure. And it
Yeah, you're
gets to the
fucking
night.
23, aren't you?
Yeah,
You no
it
idea.
gets to the night before the show opens, and we had like $2 grand maybe
in the
account.
bank account.
Yeah, and that was scary because if the show went fucking pear shaped, we were done. We were done before we begun, And day one of the show comes, and we're expecting a 10, 15 grand day. We did I think 2.5, 3 grand. The second day it wasn't much better, and we had to throw out 100 kilos of chicken
Wow.
because we'd over ordered and over prepped, and it went off. And we were very, 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 very like against freezing.
Yeah.
So that was off the cards. So it was like, oh, we got to cop it on the chin, whatever. And then thankfully,
He's like,
That still burns him. I
He's-
can feel it.
I can feel it.
oh,
The 100 kilo. That, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, because
Yeah.
we don't go into.
Don't go into it.
But it thankfully turned around, and and we did some numbers,
Yeah.
at that show, and it sort of opened our eyes to events. It was something we'd never even thought of.
Wow.
Never thought of it.
And now Fast Track 2024, you opened, I think it was like 4 different venues across the line. And then now you consolidated all the stores, you closed down all the burger shops, and now you've got like 5 trucks,
4 burger head trucks.
4 burger head trucks on the road. And you still, and where is that growth? What's next? Now you got 4 trucks, and you're just doing events. What events have you guys done besides the Easter show
Well, this year alone, we
and my
had-
wedding, of course? He didn't. The Easter show, and you guys did some burgers at my wedding.
Notable event.
No, that was mate. That's creme de la creme. It's on your cards.
It was bigger than Salim Mahaja's wedding.
Oh, fuck off.
He came in on a helicopter.
I
So
came
the-
on a camel, mate. Fuck off.
Well, this year we've done the Melbourne F1, the Easter show, and
Golf.
Live Golf in Adelaide.
How was the F1?
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
one of my favorite things about the business at the moment is things like the F1, things like the golf. I would never have gone to ever, but it's given us the ability to go there. And of course, it's hard working. We are there to work, but
you're
there's
there.
little snippets where you can duck out, see a bit of the race, see a bit of the golf, and it's been pretty cool. Just on the weekend, we're at a techno fest.
Yep.
Shit for business, but good for
Good
vibe.
Yeah.
What else?
Field day.
yeah,
Big day out?
No, Steve did field day.
But we've done music festivals.
We
we've
did Lost
done-
Paradise.
Lost
That's a good one.
Paradise. You guys did you do the catering for the whole thing?
Yeah, we did the staff and artist catering for that. That was cool.
Yep.
Birthday parties, Christmas parties, anything and everything. we've
So,
sort of
All the
touched
way
into.
from little Johnny's 5th birthday at home to the Easter
Yep.
show. and-
What a journey. So you've literally started out bootstrapped, went head first, got accepted into the biggest show in the Southern Hemisphere, crushed that, open 4 stores, go fuck it, claw back, now go on trucks. And what's next?
franchising, growing the trucks, growing the stores taught us some valuable lessons. We tried to do it alone, and that is hard with staffing, money, life.
You need guys with skin in the game.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a shame that it took a pretty substantial failure to work that one out. But look, there's water under the bridge for us now, and we only look forward. We don't look back.
And there's heaps of franchises in the States right now that have been institutions. You said the question of 10 years plus. Guys been running 15, 20 years. All stores are closing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, there's heaps of these fucking. I just seen a whole article on like 5 different chains.
Yeah, Red Lobster.
Red Lobster,
man.
yeah, gone.
Even here, I mean, you've seen big failures here at home. You know,
There was institutions in Melbourne of like 20-something years shutting recently. That was announced this week or last.
It's sad. It's sad. It's
Fucking
not
oath.
something that our industry is prone to or known. What do you like? Before we go into any detail of what advice you give to others, but what do you think is the cause of that?
Economic.
Just-
plain and simple, people are skint at the moment, and it's through no fault of the business owner. It's no fault of the people themselves. You know, they're doing their best. They're trying to put food on the table, trying to pay their bills.
If your mortgage repayment's gone from $2,000 to $6,000 a month, what do you
100%,
expect?
Yeah,
Right?
and I don't know where they're finding that money. You know, it's crazy.
It's a credit card economy right now. Everyone's living. I know people that are honestly, no joke, business owners that are living credit card to credit card.
Mm.
It's sad. And then this continuous rut, because they're just trying to keep food on the table, the lights on, and their business open.
Yeah.
They've maxed out every avenue of cash, literally everything, and they're just like, how do I claw back? How do I claw back? And what do you want them to do? Just say throw in the towel and go bankrupt? Doesn't work.
Yeah. Hospitality, it's not what it used to be.
But where there's sadness and times like this,
There's still opportunity.
there's opportunity, right?
No, 100%.
And that's what I always tell. That's what I always tell people. Like, and I found anyone that closed when COVID hit the first time,
I think they missed a very good opportunity.
but when they closed in 2020, they were closing anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fine, like nail in the coffin.
yeah, it's like mad excuse, right? And everyone's gonna hate me for saying this, but it's the reality. 2022, that challenged.
That was
That was
harder than
that
COVID.
was hard. 2021 came through. You had that was COVID. 21 was COVID, and 22 was just like the fucking
Rate rise.
yeah. That was just that
There
was
was the
death hit.
floods at the start of the year.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
supplies went. That's when the inflation started to take off and cogs were rising.
Inflation's key, I guess.
Yeah.
That was our biggest nail in the coffin for us. We'd expanded too quickly, for one, a multitude of factors, but the economic situation underpinned. That was a pretty big failure there. That we'd grown too quickly, rates rose, and where stores were forecasted to be here, they were here because of that economic situation. and then that just spiraled. We're pulling money from the things that were working, which were the trucks,
Yep.
to keep all of these things afloat.
And you just thought the trucks are the trucks. Like, fuck the trucks.
Yeah, well,
It was like,
quite frankly, I hated them. I hated them for years.
the grease bus.
The grease wagon.
Grease wagon, yeah.
And I hated it, but it was through looking at the numbers and being like, well, this is the thing that's keeping us alive.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where it was like, well, what are we doing here? We're subsidizing the shops. We'd gotten to a point where we were employing people, which is great, and we enjoy that side of things, but we were just giving other people a job at that point and paying the tax man, and we were suffering mentally and driving a business that wasn't really going anywhere.
Yep.
And it was reflecting there and having some hard chats and being like, well, what does it look like if we just get rid of the shops? What does it look like? What do we do?
Yeah.
And I think we've been in the best state personally for the last 8 months.
Bro, you look happy. You look healthy. So happy.
Gotten a bit fatter.
It's happy and healthy. Look at me. No. So with that, obviously, when you've done that pivot change and push, there's a lot of guys out there in the world, a lot of people that follow me, guys in the dojo community. They're always skeptical about going into business. And they've just got this, they've got 0 to nil understanding of what it takes to operate one. And it's fine because, when I started going into business, I had no idea. When you started going into business, you had no idea, right? One thing I always reach out is I always try find or extract quick wins or little hints that you can give out to people that you found along your own way. So I think for me, where I found your successes or your failures even, if there's someone opening up a brick and mortar, they have one store, they want to open their first store. Heaps of stuff we can talk about. I can talk about for days. But one thing that I can't talk about very well, and something that I know that you guys can, is trucks. If someone wants to open a food truck, what the fuck should they do? Because there are guys that go I open a food truck, but I don't know I have no location. What do I do? How do you get into these events? How do you pop up? How do you get that site that's got, a busy road? How do they do that? I can tell them how to build a truck. I can tell them how to design it, but I can't tell them how to get the location.
I would say that the starting point's a brand and the product. And if you don't have a great product, you better have a great brand and a great story behind it.
I think getting into events and spots and all that sort of world, I think the answer is always no until you ask.
What do you mean by that?
Well, someone's got to have the truck at Melbourne F1.
Yep.
Someone's got to do it. Why not you? And so it only starts with a, hey, can I? And for us, for example, for Melbourne, we asked if we could set the truck up at the Bathurst 1000, the supercars. We got a green light for that. And then we got given the opportunity, crushed it. And then we said, what else can we do with you guys? The event organizers, obviously. And they've got the contract for the other biggest events in the country. One of those is the Melbourne F1. And that's it.
And doors open doors, right? So if I'm pitching to I pitched City to Surf last week. It's I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that, blah, blah, blah. And if you can, name that you've done these big events, and that opens doors for further along the way. But how do you get that first door open? And I think that is a great social presence. Think about if you're running the food booking program for the F1,
mm-hmm.
and hey, I'm Paul, I have a kebab truck.
Mm-hmm.
I go to
fuck
you. Loves his kebabs.
Say a bun meat truck. You turn around and say kebab. Hey, I'm Paul and I've got a kebab truck.
Brother,
I have lettuce, tomato, onion, barbecue sauce.
It's good.
It's good.
100. Anyway, but if I was to look at your business and
My kebab truck, yeah. It's all right. Go for it.
Oh, authentic. Look at the owner.
And there's no social presence. There's nothing that can tell me that you're going to be able to help me sell tickets or bring a crowd. Why am I going to pick you? Right. So you got to work backwards from there. You've got to provide value to the event. And if that value doesn't come through experience and knowing that you can serve people quickly, because event booking people, they want to see that you can serve people. They most of how it works is they take a commission. So the busier you are, the more money they make.
So yeah, how's it? What do you mean by it? So do you pay rent when you go to these places?
Nah, so you'll pay either a site fee or a utilities fee, but that can be tied into the commission. And there's different structures for different events.
Give me an example. Something like,
yeah,
come on, bro,
so
break it down.
The F1 event, for instance, you might pay a power fee. You might pay a utilities fee for like your water access. You'll pay 28% commission on your sales. But they obviously want people who can pump volume because that means they're going to make more money too.
Mm.
So if you're busier, they're busier, and that's how it works. And so you need to provide the value that you can handle the crowds. You can help maybe bring people to the event, and that's what they're looking for. So if you have that mentality in mind and you work backwards, and you start to build your brand around that, you start to design your truck around that, that's only going to help you service these bigger events. And that mightn't be the space that you want to take. You might just want to be that food truck that's doing great kebabs on Parramatta Road.
Hey, my grandfather, when he came to this country, started a kebab shop. Fuck you.
And fuck, kebabs are good. I love kebabs.
Did he actually?
Shawarma, yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
He actually called it Kebab 22.
Kebab 22.
Do you know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
So KFC has 11 secret herbs and spices.
I got double.
He had 22. Okay. And funny enough, the joiner that actually built the shop, I met him like a year ago in passing. And he asked who I was, told him my name, told him where I was from. He goes, do you know this guy? I was like, who's this guy? He goes, and he mentioned the name, which was my grandfather. And I was like, yes. So how the fuck do you know him? You know, my grandfather used to build cool rooms as well for many years. And he goes, I built his kebab shop. Wow. I said, no way. So he goes, okay.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Listen to this. He turned around and has a copy of the plans.
Oh, for real? From how long ago?
1984.
Wow. That's cool.
That's the plans?
That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, that's the plans. But yeah, look at that.
That looks better than the plans we got from Petra.
I know, literally. I don't work there anymore.
Nah, but I guess going back to that point of you want to look at, you know, what are you designing your truck for, or your trailer, and how efficient do you need to be, and how many people do you want to serve, and how much money do you want to make, and you've really got to work backwards, and then find out who you're going to be. We were fortunate that we already had a brand and we already had a great product before we entered that market. So we didn't find it too hard to open those first doors, but I mean, we've just sort of been a part of Gringos, which is probably at the beginning of that journey now. Mm-hmm. And I would say that we've started that with a great TikTok and Instagram presence, and that has opened doors. So that would probably be the way to really penetrate.
Yeah, and it's like you didn't really leverage Burgerhead with Gringos, You just let that thing...
Organic, we had the playbook.
You had the playbook. You had the playbook, but you gave it its organic growth. You let it take itself. So then you guys took a completely different approach with it. And even the operating hours are a bit funny. What are they?
Yeah. So our partner in that, Richie, he's doing a cracker job.
Yeah.
And very product forward, and like, you know, that's sort of
you like that now, huh?
Oh man,
product forward. You stole it.
That's my new term. Put in the bio.
Yeah.
But the product's amazing, right? And you start with creating the best thing that you bloody well can, and then how do we feed the masses? And then you might have to tone it down a wee bit here and there, make a few changes to scale up. But once you get there, you know, it's just how do we serve more people?
And with Gringos now, what do you see Gringos going into? Are you going to go into trucks? Yeah. So now that they've set up their truck, they've got things running. how do they? What's your secret to handling a queue? Because like when I was at the Easter show this year, I seen a couple really really long queues for these amazing. I'm not going to say who they were, but they a whole bunch of new vendors, great products, but they couldn't service the people. And then you guys, every time I walk past, you had like 3-4 people deep, and you had like if you had 15 or 20 people, they were just like gone. You were clearing them. Like some guys were waiting an hour for a burger, an hour and a half, and with you guys, I waited like 12 minutes in peak. What's that secret? How does someone do that?
It's a finely tuned machine. Yeah,
It's a finely tuned machine, but like,
yeah.
how does someone get there?
You need to know the bottlenecks of your production. So our bottleneck before this show, and you saw this show this year that was where we really refined it to our best sort of use case at the moment. But we knew that we were capped at maybe like $2,800, $2,900 an hour on one point of sale.
$2,900 an hour.
$2,900 an hour.
Yeah,
so
wow. I love that. I'm capped.
Yeah, and so like we couldn't really do much more than that, right?
Yeah. But you knew your limit.
The only way to do that was to either have another truck or put our prices up.
Yeah.
And so to increase that, you need another point of sale. So we squeeze another point of sale in there, but then you need to work out, can your team handle the extra trade in that little thing? And you just got to work around and test and tinker.
You know what? It's bad to say because it's food and it's so personal and it's got quality behind it with what we do. But you've almost got to look at them as a mobile factory and how quickly can you get the sales in and then the products out, right? And then at each part. So for us, we've got 4 sections of the truck. You got the point of sale, assembly, fryer and grill. And obviously point of sale, that's the people taking the orders. And then how quickly can they get the orders in, and then how quickly can the other 3 sections work together to get those orders out.
Yep.
And then call it the person on the grill. How many patties can he do on a 600 mil grill, a 900 or 1200? Okay, the 900 is a good amount. Put that grill in. And then call it all the inputs that go through him. He's got salt, he's got his tools, raw beef, cheese, and then the products go out to the next section. So then how quickly can you get cheese topped up, beef topped up, everything? Same with the fryer, same with the assembly. And so it's just that, a finely tuned machine. And you know those games on the iPhone where it's like building a farm?
Yeah.
And you got the things that come in.
Or even like the building the burgers once, those games.
Yeah. And so it's literally just like all those little parts that move. So if we were to put 3 point of sales, for example, in it, everything else would suffer and wouldn't be able to keep up. So we're capped at 2 there until you do a bigger truck, bigger grill, bigger assembly. And that's that.
Wow.
And limiting the people needing to move in and out of spaces and duck and dive to get things that they need. That just amplifies.
And did you offer the full menu?
It's a smaller menu than we used to run at the store, but there's enough variety that you can get what you want. We've got chicken, vegetarian beef. We've got halal, a couple beef burgers. So
beef.
Can cater to halal, dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian. Like that trailer's 10 square meters. We had 7 people in there. So it was pretty tight, but yeah, they get it done.
So limited menu, obviously. And is that also, that's obviously a big fundamental as well that someone should look at when they're doing a truck. They've got to have variety, but limit the offering.
Yeah. Like I went to a...
How do you find that balance?
I went to a deli yesterday, a sandwich place that's popping off, right?
Cool.
I think they had 16 sandwiches on the menu, but I waited 30 minutes for a sandwich. And I'm just standing there analyzing. I'm like, you know what? If you look at your sales of those 16 menu items, 4, 5, they're going to be popping out. That's what everyone's going to be ordering. And then there's going to be 11 that people are like getting in dribs and drabs. And if you look at your data, that's what we've done from day one, looking at data. And we built tools for our own business to help our ordering. And from that, you can see what's selling, what isn't selling, and what can you get rid of. And then you can limit your menu to knowing what people start with that bigger menu, maybe, like see what works.
I call that chunking. Like you start at the top and then you chunk it and then you go You trim it down.
100%. And you know what's moving. And a limited menu is beneficial at these events because you can have less wastage.
Yep.
You're going to have, better turnover. And at this point in time, like we know we're going to sell 75% beef burgers. So at these big venue events, we're just cooking beef, knowing that we're going to get a beef burger coming through. That's not going to go shit. It's going to get sold. So the limited menu has a lot of benefits in that sort of environment.
I've always said this: numbers don't lie.
Yeah. Stop it.
Like that,
You love it. Turns you on.
but like that sandwich shop, for example, if they pull up their point of sale data and immediately culled the bottom like 4, and then the ones that were left, the 12, you could probably cut even more, or just look at the items and what doubles up, or what can you sub and double up, and that limits your wastage, your ordering, and the simple menu is easier. You've got less decision paralysis for your team building it, and then your customers, it's easy for them to get their order to you because they're not overwhelmed by
You're not
decisions.
standing there looking at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last controversial question. Major food franchises like Mickey D's, Macca's, Hungry Jack's. You guys decided to go fucking head to head. You went head to head with the biggest franchise in the world, and you launched a burger that was literally a rip off their biggest selling burger.
An homage.
And what?
An homage, like a...
Yeah.
We were showing respect.
Yeah. I'm showing you how I seen it, and then you can tell me what you did. From what I believe, these guys went out and just seen someone else do it, a big chain do it, and they said, you know what, we're going to fucking do it too. So you went and you threw this burger, and then, you know what, 50 people did it, but you guys are the only ones that copped some fucking real slack. Like, not slack, you guys copped heat.
We did it well.
Right. So what happened?
Yeah, well, so it was always weekly or fortnightly specials in the business. So we'd always be doing those constantly to keep the it fresh and a new reason for the regulars to come back. And well, the Big Mac's the most famous burger or food item, I'd say, in the world. And I think one week we were either behind on it, or it was like just throw it together, like we were a bit in the shit with time. So we dropped it and we called it the Better Mac. Simple, like better than the Big Mac.
So how do you call that homage?
Because it was better. It had better.
It's not homage.
It had better
You're saying
ingredients.
it's like you're respecting it. You're not respecting it. You're saying it's better. Yeah.
Anyway, so we'd
Don't be rude.
we'd posted that, and people just saw the Big Mac ingredients, know our, I guess, take on produce, and knew it'd be good. So everyone got excited and things like that. I think we'd posted that Monday midday-ish, Monday mid-morning. And then the next day, Tuesday morning, I'm at the bank, sitting down with a banker. And then they asked the question, something about liabilities and debts in the business. And I pulled up an email that I had some info on.
Yeah.
And top of the inbox was the letter from their legal team with the cease and desist. And I saw it, sent it to Josh. It was like, oh, righto. We knew it was a bit of just like fluff up the tail and just sort of look scary, but it was nothing. And then we posted it on our social media. And once we'd posted it, we realized at the top it actually said confidential, blah, 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 don't share or something. And then we're like, oh, righto.
We've always been one to take a shit situation and try and flip it on its head.
Yeah.
For a bit of good. And that just went viral.
Yeah, so then, so it was the cease and desist, and people just could not believe that. So we had at that stage 1 or 2 stores. 2 maybe? I think we had 2.
Maybe.
Yeah, we had
Botany.
2 stores.
Botany, yeah.
So we had our entire store footprint of 2. This company had more stores in the one suburb than we did in our entire company's existence. And people just could not believe that they hit us with the cease and desist, and then it went viral, picked up by radio stations, news stations galore. It was crazy.
And did you guys still run the burger?
Yeah, so their whole thing was you can't use the word Mac. So then we deleted the post.
We asked the punters
Yeah,
to help
yeah.
us name it.
We put a post on Facebook saying we had to delete it. We need a new name.
Yeah.
And then someone said, call it the cease and desist. And then we posted it the next day saying our new burger special cease and desist. And
Everybody loves a good David and Goliath sort of battle story. So it played in our favor.
And did you have any other brands jump on? Was it KFC something?
Russia's jumped. KFC.
Oh,
jumped
they
in,
commented. That was so funny.
and that just pushed it.
We posted it, and then a rival competitor burger joint in the area we've always had a bit of back and forth banter with. They commented saying "Be original" or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this place, that when they opened, their name was Big Poppers, which is the name of a restaurant in the city.
In Surrey Hills, yeah.
And then that
Beautiful
place
place.
sued them like within the first couple of weeks of them opening. They actually had to change their name.
Right.
So they said to us, "Be original," and I commented back saying, "Didn't you used to be called Big Poppers?"
Yeah.
And then KFC commented a meme underneath that's like a, ooh, and then that went. I think they got almost as many likes their comment as the
whole
post or
post.
something. Or
It was
it was crazy.
if you paid for the PR, like
As a
you
PR stunt?
if you tried to recreate that, we
Yeah.
would have had to have spent 30-40 grand.
Wow.
Like for the amount of eyeballs, for the
Yeah.
We spoke
news.
to Kyle Sanderlands over it. That's,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he called you up over it?
Yeah, Timbo, what are you doing, mate?
Wow.
It was. I remember we're doing a radio a radio sort of interview, and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna see them in court?" Yeah, fuck. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
How? How? And look, it did well. We had a bumper 2-3 weeks. We never heard from them again. They were a bit scared, I think. But
Oh, mate. With the
You
I
company.
sent him a video of Josh shadowboxing.
You guys have been in business for 8 years, operating, running, trading, working, making money, losing money. What's one piece of advice you give to someone before they enter the business, before they go into food business?
It sounds almost cliche, but the customer always first, I guess. It's like we had an idea of what we wanted Burgerhead to be when we first started, and what our idea is actually so different to what it became. Because what we wanted to create was like a late night bar, boozy and drinking and all that sort of stuff, open at midnight. Quickly became a more kid-friendly, really casual approach. We didn't have a kids menu, no high chairs, no nothing. And then within the first week, we got that question a million times and had to pivot. And it was always ear to the ground, listening and trying to be what your customers want you to be in that sense.
Josh?
educate yourself.
How?
Whether that is through the dojo, whether that's going to uni, whether it's working for free. For me, it was all three. I was lucky to have met you early on in my journey that had more experience in opening restaurants. So I was able to ask you pointers. I'd gone to uni. I knew I wanted to open restaurants. Knew numbers were going to be important. Went down the accounting sort of path. And I worked for free in some of the greatest restaurants in the world. And that sort of imparted knowledge and understanding of the craft. I understood the fundamental aspect of business. I wouldn't say I was anywhere near a proficient know-it-all, but I had a decent understanding of what I needed to know. And then what I didn't know, I had people around me to ask how to plug those gaps. And I think the combination of the three of those with, great business partners, that sort of gave us a pretty good platform for success.
So I would say one is know your customer, continually educate yourself, and surround yourself with good people.
100%.
What was the biggest financial fuck up you ever made?
Growing too quick.
Like, how much did you burn? We got to put $1 for it. No, fuck it. We're here.
No, we don't want to count that, man.
Just fucking say it.
At least 700 grand, 600 or 700 grand in 2 years.
That you burnt.
It's gone. It's a house.
Finished.
It's a house. It's gone.
Paid off. House paid off. Finished.
I don't,
fucking
have,
gone.
I don't have one now.
No, it's gone. Yeah.
It's gone. Yeah. And we fortunately we were young enough to recover from it, dumb enough to not let it bother us, and crazy enough to keep doing it.
Oh, well, lads, it's been a pleasure to have you guys on here as the first episode. Thank you for blessing the episode with your presence and sharing some beautiful stories. I got to learn so much about you too today, more than I actually knew, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you too. So I really, really, truly believe in your product from day one.
Thanks
and
for
I
having
still
us.
see.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Do you
very
have any
much
last words?
appreciate it.
Any last words?
We're looking forward to see your growth of the dojo and everything as well, and what
It's
you're
been-
giving back to all the people battling in the industry.
Yeah, we're just trying.
It's great to see you turning it into a business. What you've done for us for 7 years.
I know.
we've been a good couple of donkeys.
Yeah. We did a couple trial and errors. No, I guess it's all just about, for me, it's just doing something you love, you know? Like, I don't want it transactional anymore.
If we asked you a year ago, like, could you have seen yourself meeting all the amount of people you'd met? I mean, Tom Brady for one, that was phenomenal. That was cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's taken you already to.
Yeah, man, it was so funny. In March of 2023, I was just like, I started my MBA at the beginning of last year, and I was just like, how do I now, like, I wanted to activate something. So then when you're in a room with people that are from different industries, like different worlds, different problems, you start seeing things with a different perspective. Like, for the past 12 years, all I've been doing is hospitality. That's it. And I love it, and I'd never change it. But I was limiting my growth, I guess. And the fact that I was only surrounded by those people all the time was like, how much of my A game could I keep growing? Like, I was top of the game. Like, there's no one that could, like, I could compete with anybody, no problem. You know, yes, there's always room for growth, but was I at the top of the game? Could I talk shop? No problem. Yeah, I could. But that creativeness, you sort of lack that creativeness. And when I surrounded myself with all these other people and I seen that, you know, how I could go on a learning journey, I was like, fuck, why don't I bring that back to Hospo and take them on a learning journey? You know, and all the consulting that I do for like larger clients, like I'm talking like the Defense Force, for example, and other organizations, when I've worked on their projects and what I've delivered for them, if I turn around and translate that to someone like you guys when you were 22 starting out, how much fucking impact would that do?
Yeah.
It would like prepare you, it would propel you forward. It like literally like, it'd be like a springboard. Like here's your springboard, just jump. And so that's been the whole, that was the whole concept of the dojo. And I always said worldwide. I said worldwide. I just want to do it worldwide.
And you
You
got
know?
recognized in.
I got recognized in the middle of Brooklyn. And this morning I got off the phone from a lady in Nigeria. Like,
Nigeria.
Nigeria, man.
Holy fuck.
She's got a catering company feeding 1,000 people each weekend in Nigeria.
Wow.
And she's like, I need to optimize my kitchen.
It's phenomenal.
You know?
It's wild, isn't it? No, it's wild.
Like, you know, and it's just like, I want to optimize my kitchen. I want to re-engineer my menu. I want to grow my offering. It's the same. Everyone fucking goes through the same problems, you know. But there's just not enough people help. Like, I think, you know, there's a big stigma around consulting, and that's why I don't like calling it consulting. I like calling it mentorship, because I want to give you the tools and resources for you to be able to do it time and time again. Where a consultant comes in, does some change, adds his flair. The minute he leaves, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And restaurant consultants always have this bad taste in the mouth, and I've seen it. When someone says I'm a restaurant consultant, and they're fucking probably a great guy, the restaurant owner's like, what a dickhead. It's like, well, I don't want someone to say that about me. You know? So, and if someone goes, oh, no, I don't need you to mentor me, I'm like, that's fine. You want me in there for growth and strategy? We can do that. And it's something that the industry's never seen before. It's a different angle. It's a different approach. It's something new. It's not for everybody. I can't help everyone. But yeah, definitely, you know, in 12 months to see it go from, I only actually started in October, to be honest, September, October. Leading up to it, it was just me just practicing. Really, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Who am I? Still working it out. October I started, and I only really launched the dojo, to be fair, in February of this year. So from February to where are we now? May.
Phenomenal
Growth. So no, it's great, and I think big part is building a personal brand. Definitely. If there's any next step for you guys, I'd say just work on your individual. I think you guys are inseparable, so I think you guys could actually do a like joint co-brand. It'd be fucking really cool, like a Hamish and Andy of the Hospo world. Like honestly, because it's you guys are inseparable. Everything I've seen you guys operate for the past 8 years, and I don't see this. You guys have made money together. You've burnt money together.
Burnt more than we made.
And you're still next to each other, right? And you rock up for each other. So I reckon like work on trying to showcase the world more of you guys, and you'll see it project forward. But yeah, thank you for being on the show.